So back on to the subject of employment. Do you not see that when you take up employment and they give you those forms to fill out to process for those tax amounts, and you fill that out, you don't think that you're consenting at that point?
I think you know yourself that no one's consent is required. You have to do it.
So you're saying you're not consenting at that point when you fill those forms out? Is that a yes or no?
No one is consenting it. No one's asked to consent or not consent. It's taken from you if you want to or not. And if you somehow find a way to not pay for it, then someone will come to your door and put you in prison.
When you fill out those forms, you're consenting to it,
I answered your question. I answered your question.
and
No, I don't think so.
you're consenting to it when you fill out those forms.
Again, no one is asked to consent or to not consent. I'm not sure which forms specifically you mean, but let's say when I sign a contract with an employer and and on it says this is how much taxes I'll have to pay. That's not necessarily that's something you're forced to do if you want to or not. And if you somehow let's say for argument's sake that I take all the money from the employer and then later I'm supposed to myself pay for those taxes, and then I choose not to pay for I choose to keep those taxes instead of paying for them, someone will come to my home and arrest me and take me to prison. So
Well,
no one's
yes.
asked to do it
Well,
or forced to
yes.
do it.
They take you to prison because that's the penalty for theft. Because if you're not going to pay taxes, you are stealing from the government that's doing all these services around you in your society. So all these things that we're talking about are at a cost. So if you don't pay, yes, they will give you that penalty.
Again, I already agreed that if you let me voluntarily choose what services I want from the government,
That's not the
and I
way it
consented,
works.
then
That's
that's
the
fine.
problem. That's not the way
Okay,
it
then
works. You want to pay as
okay,
you
then I
go. That's
don't
not the way it works.
I don't consent to pork spending. I don't consent to corrupt politicians bribing one another. I don't consent to the army killing indigenous people in another country. I don't consent to those things with my tax money. And that's how it should work, because then at least we'll have some control as to what the government does with our money. So if you're saying, we need the police, this is how much the police cost, I'm like, look, I like my property, I don't want it to be stolen. Yeah, I'll pay for the police. How much is it? It's $100 a month. Fine, subscribe me to that. You want file services? Yeah, okay, I want file services too. You want health and in case of emergency? Yeah, that sounds good. I'll add that too. But some stuff I won't like.
Yeah,
Some stuff I know is corrupt, and I don't agree to pay for that.
you want to pay as you go service, and that's not the system you're born into. The
It's still a
system
it's still a it's still a pay as you go service, because if I leave the country, I stop paying for it.
the system that you're set up in is a constant ongoing system that constantly maintains your roads, maintains everything that you use or is available to you. So instead of just pay as you go and trying to just allocate and segment every little thing in this little pocket, you just from your wages and from if you buy anything and anything else, property taxes, the land that you're living on, it goes to the government and then they pay the services that will render back to you. It would be theft if the government would if you're overextended and you pay too much and they don't refund you, that would be theft for the government. That's why they have the refund and the rebate.